All right, people. So what we are going to do is that we're going to start working with Adobe Illustrator. The first thing we need to do is to open the program. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, I know you can't necessarily see everything on my computer, so sorry. A couple things you can do is go down to Launchpad, which is the little rocket picture at the bottom. I can scroll through. You can see mine popped up right away. Adobe Illustrator, so it's an orange square with the AI for Adobe Illustrator. Click on that, boom, there it is. The other thing you can do is, let's go back to that Launchpad, is to make your life a little simpler in the long run. If I click on that and I just drag it down to this toolbar and I let go, then it stays down there for good. Okay, so let's get out of here. So now we have a new window popped up. It is working, but the thing is, you don't have a canvas up right now. So what we need to do is go up to File, New, and we are going to label it right away. So we're going to call this Pathfinder Monster. And and then I want you to put your last name. And then your first name. Nelson Jeff. That's me. Okay, so that way I know exactly whose folder it is. Because everybody, if they label it just Pathfinder, it's all going to be the same. Okay, so let's check this out. So we're going to go to Size. We're going to go to Letter, which will bring it up as 8.5 by 11. Yours might be already set at points or picas or all these different things. I want you just to switch it to inches just to make your life a little bit easier. CMYK is fine, so that stands for cyan, magenta, yellow, and black. Resolution of 300 is fine as well. So we should be good to go. I'm going to hit OK. All right, so now what happened is it pulled up a new canvas, and this is 8.5 by 11, which is the size of a standard piece of paper. So you can see it looks pretty similar to Adobe Photoshop. The biggest difference with Photoshop and Adobe Illustrator is that you are working with math versus pixels. Okay, so Adobe Illustrator is a vector-based program. So what that means is that we could take a shape. Let's make a couple of shapes really quick. And we can zoom in, where in Photoshop, if we keep zooming in, it'll become pixelated. But you notice with this, we keep zooming in and it's still smooth edges. The reason why is, like I said, because it's called a raster. I'm sorry, it's called vector, where Adobe Photoshop is a raster-based program. So raster is pixels, vector is math. So that's the biggest difference image-wise between the two. We could actually make this circle as big as the entire school and get up next to it, and it would still be a perfectly smooth circle around the edges. Pretty exciting stuff. Like I said, you can see that it looks pretty similar to Adobe Photoshop, but there are a handful of differences. Some of them are the commands, and some of them are just how we work with things in general. Instead of painting and using our brushes and our pencils, kind of how we might have used in Adobe Photoshop, in this one we're using mostly shapes and points. Okay, using our pen tool and shapes and a couple other things to make those things happen. Okay, so this is our file that we're going to use. When you save it, I want you to make sure that you save it in either your student file, or you can save it in the save drive. Please don't save it on the desktop, because otherwise, like I said, sometimes they come through and they clear this stuff out. And sometimes the computers poop out, and then you are left with nothing. So if you put it in your save drive or put it in the student drive, you can access it from any computer, and it's easier to get back to. And then once you save it there once, all you have to do is hit Command S or go up to File, Save, and you're done. All right, so this is how to get your stuff set up. Hopefully that made sense, and if not, watch it again.